You know, I've been saying big time a lot more lately.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, here I am. Hello, Brittany.
Here I am. Allie.
How are ya?
I haven't seen you in forever again.
I know.
Well, I saw you Monday. We recorded Monday.
Yeah. That's true.
You weren't here, right?
It was Connor. Yeah. I just need to start off this episode by saying that Brittany always uses the bathroom immediately when she
I knew you would
gets
do this.
here.
As I was sending it, I was like, this is probably going to be in
It's
the
going to
recording.
be on the pod. And so she went to go pee before we went to the studio.
Well, because I always drink like 3 drinks.
I know,
like before I leave my place, then I have like 2 drinks on my way. Not alcohol, like coffee and water. And stuff.
You like hydrate and you have your caffeine and shit. And so she texts me while she's in the bathroom. She says, "Sorry, it turns out I'm pooping. I didn't know." And then sends the Walking on Sunshine song.
Which is a bit that my boyfriend does.
Yeah, if you're...
which we talked about in a different pod.
Yeah.
You take a shit, you feel like a different person.
Yeah.
You feel like...
Yeah, you seem lighter.
I do feel... I didn't even know I felt how I did. I didn't know I was feeling heavy. When you're driving in your Chevy and you feel something heavy, diarrhea. I didn't even have... The problem is I didn't have diarrhea. That's why it took so long.
Yeah. And then after you send the Walking on Sunshine
I wouldn't even told
song,
you if I had diarrhea.
What do you mean?
It only took long because I guess I'm constipated.
Brittany, I hope you would tell me if you had diarrhea.
I think I have diarrhea a lot and I don't tell you.
What?
It's just like I want it to be special. When I tell you, I don't want it to be like, oh, yeah. Okay. Like you stop listening to me when I tell you.
Yeah.
So I only tell you once a month.
It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, exactly.
If you tell me every time you have diarrhea, I won't believe you.
Then you start to think I just make it up.
Yeah. And
like I'm just like...
Brittany's trying to connect again.
Trying to get our friendship going.
Yeah.
Oh, Allie, I had diarrhea. Are you going to laugh? I knew it. We're friends.
I'll laugh at any diarrhea poop thing. I fucking love it. And then after you said, this is a difficult one, stubborn.
It was. Did I tell you that time? One time now we're really starting the pod off with, we're going to lose listeners, but let me tell you, we won't talk about poop the whole time.
I don't think anybody who likes this podcast will tune in and be like, gross poop.
Yeah, they'll look at, especially if you're scrolling through the titles, so many of them have like vomit, shit.
I know, yeah.
Right? There's diarrhea, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, playing basketball with your piss.
Yeah, so smegma as well.
I know, yeah. We have
so you guys know what you're getting
in the title.
I know. And sometimes I'm like, oh, what if my job listens to me say something?
Tell them it's a medical podcast.
I worry about the
your
content
science papers
of the pod, but then I'm like, oh, the titles are enough for them to be like, what is this?
No, totally.
Anyway.
You think anybody at your job has any fucking time to listen to these podcasts?
No.
From what you...
Sorry, my coffee just exploded and I thought it got all over me without me realizing.
Also, you opened that a long time ago, so it's been like that for a long time. There was a little fizz on the top and she looked at it and was like, oh God.
Have you been? I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too. You were sick all week.
I know.
Everybody's been sick. Fucking Dave was sick
for 3 weeks. Is he better now?
It's crazy. Well, he was sick for like 2 days, and then he just like went to Colorado to do like spots and shit. He's opening for Caleb. And so I'm like, I hope you feel better. Yeah. And then he's going to go visit his parents.
Yeah. So well, did he already have the thing you had that lasted forever?
I don't know. Well, Dave gets sick like nobody's business because he like fucking, he's like torn vocal cords.
Foam keeps getting on my lips.
You're gonna have a fun little mustache. Little milk mustache.
Oh, because he's always yelling and spitting.
Yeah, he's always yelling and spitting. Dude, he spits on everybody when he talks.
I know.
And like, he's just constantly spitting and then everybody's like, and like,
no one stops him because he's always telling a good story.
I know, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to interrupt.
Every time he spits, I'm like...
Allie just did a, like, gulp.
Like I'm trying to catch it with my mouth.
Like she's catching... Like you're catching
because I love
pieces of popcorn thrown at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody else is disgusted, but I'm like... So fucking gross.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Were you...
Well, Dave was sick, so we watched The Rings of Power.
What's that?
Okay. I don't know if anybody knows this about me. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know a lot about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I like, for maybe like 4 years in middle school, every night, like my mom and I would watch part of the extended edition. And so we'd watch like 1, 2, and 3 and then start over at 1.
Yeah.
So we just like watched it over and over and over again for like fucking years.
Yeah.
And
I gotta give this another shot.
dude, Lord of the Rings is so fucking good, bro. And it holds up because there's not a lot of like CGI in it. It's all practical effects and it looks awesome.
Nice.
And then the Rings of Power is, because you know how like Tolkien, like this is so boring. Tolkien created like this whole like really deep world.
We'll cut all this. Don't worry.
We're gonna cut it. I'm like nerding out. I'm like, yeah, I fucking love Lord of the Rings.
And I'm like, you already told me all this.
I know.
Actually, you probably didn't.
But like he created this like really deep.
You already said that.
Fine, I won't fucking talk about Lord of the
You
Rings
talked
anymore.
for 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, you said that already.
Yeah.
No,
I've
I'm
been
just kidding.
spitting on you the entire
I don't think you
time.
told me this, actually.
Well, okay, so Tolkien created like this whole like really deep world that has like so much lore and shit. And there's a book called the Silmarillion. Is that what it's called? Maxim, do you know?
What?
Silmarillion?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced?
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
Okay, Silmarillion. And it's like...
We caught him not listening to the pod for a second there.
Yeah, he was too busy texting his wife, who he
Sorry,
loves.
can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
I had a therapy call the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost canceled it because I was sick, and I was like, what's
You
the
need
point?
more sleep and shit,
Yeah, but then he was like, well, if you cancel, it's going to cost $200. There's some weird thing. That doesn't matter.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like it's not canceled with the copay cost. So anyway, I
Whoa.
got on, and I was like, we'll just do a short one or something. And I didn't realize my camera wasn't on because I don't have it in the picture-in-picture because it's too distracting.
Yeah, I turn it off. Yeah.
So every time I get on, I think it's on automatically. And this is just related to Maxim not paying attention. Not that you have to. But
Maxim, we're going to give you a pop quiz at the end of this podcast about what we talked about.
Yeah.
So far, poop Lord of the Rings.
you can probably just guess by knowing us. You don't even have to.
I know, yeah.
You don't have to study.
He sat in on so many pods. He's like, Brittany probably talked about horses and then about something
Bugs.
embarrassing she did in middle school. And then Allie made fun of her and talked about her dead mom.
Yeah, you guys could write in it. Send in your spec scripts for the pod.
Dude, we should AI generate a podcast.
That's a good idea.
Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
That'd be fun.
It'd be so fun to, I'm gonna
Oh my God, we should do that.
we should AI generate our
that'd be
stand-up.
so good.
We should AI generate our stand-up.
Yeah.
And then read it on the pod.
That'd be fun.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I did a show that did that.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't use my stand-up, which would have been... Oh, wait, did they? Oh, yeah, I sent them a tape. They're like, it's an AI show. So you send us a tape, and then we're going to AI generate a joke for you to read as part of the show. Like I did my regular set, and then at the end, I was supposed to read my AI joke.
Yeah.
It made no sense at all.
Yeah.
I think they used a bad generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't a joke. It was like, I mean, then it made me question myself. I was like, do I write jokes?
Do you think that AI can like figure out the nuances of comedy?
Definitely not of me.
Yeah.
I can't even figure that out.
It's like you're too similar to AI.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like someone that's too close to their own problems.
Yeah.
Like they're too close to their own AI problems, so they can't see it in others.
Yeah.
Even?
No,
Yeah.
I feel like an AI generated joke by you would be like, one day I was walking around and somebody looked at me and I was like, what are you looking at? And then I hated myself after it. And then I realized I had poop on my shirt.
It basically was like that. Good night, folks. Thank you. Anyway, sorry, I ended up derailing the whole thing.
No, it's okay.
So I get on my therapy call and my camera's not, apparently it's not on, but I'm thinking it's on. And I'm thinking we're talking and we're interacting like two human beings. And as I start telling him about like an issue, I see his eyes kind of moving back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
You're reading
an email.
Yeah.
You've done this before.
Yeah.
And it was really distracting this time. There've been times in the past where I'm like, whatever, it's, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
well,
then
no, you know what you said to me one time when you were talking about that? You were like, I'm not really talking about anything big anyway.
Also, I
Which
say
is like you're paying for a service, Brittany. You're like, no, you're right. I'm boring.
well, also like I tend to have the same problems over and over, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, he's right. He's heard this before.
Yeah.
He already knows what I'm saying.
Being like, he's right to do this. It's so insane.
Anyway, I see his eyes moving around, and this time it really bothered me. And I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Did you say something?
I did.
Yes.
I was like, hey, are you like in the middle of something or whatever? And then he's like, what? No. And then I was confused because I was like, it's clear that his eyes are not looking at me.
Oh, he didn't know where to look.
Yes. So then he was like, oh, it's just your camera's off and I'm just looking around on my screen, you know? And then I felt so bad because I called him out and he wasn't actually reading an email.
You finally stood up for yourself.
I finally did it.
And then
he
were
definitely
wrong.
has read emails in the past.
Yeah.
Because I could see the screen change in light too, like he's opening something up.
Yeah, totally. No,
but
that
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
felt so bad. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know my camera's off.
And then you're like, are you even listening?
Yeah.
Are you even listening to me?
Sorry, I'm irritable. I've been sick all week.
Yeah.
You know? And I haven't had any human connection. And then you're the first one I talk to and you're reading an email.
Oh, God. That's so funny.
Anyway, I interrupted your story.
I was just going to talk about how the rings of power are based on
yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Brittany. Interrupted my story 15 times.
I know.
But
what about my Zoom call? What about my weekly Zoom call that you've heard about a lot? It's a different version this time.
It doesn't matter. The Rings of Power is great.
No, you should finish it though. Probably a few listeners might like it.
Oh my God. I have zero. I want you to know.
Also, I haven't talked to anyone in a week and I'm already high from talking. Just talking.
I want you to know I have zero confidence about what I'm about to say. Okay. I have zero confidence. Okay. I've been beat down.
I'll big you up while you go. I smalled you down for a while. I'm going to big you up.
Down. Yeah, but you're gonna big me up passive aggressively.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna be like, oh,
this part's good.
Oh. Oh, really? It's about how the Rings of Power came into fruition? Oh, Galadriel's the main character in it?
How do you spell that? You know when some people show interest and they do it by asking about spelling?
Yeah, my dad does that.
It's so weird.
He's like, he'll say a word. He'll be like, Galadriel. Huh. How do you spell that? And I'm like, I'm telling you about my dog.
It's also a way of seeming like realizing you're not listening, but then getting to hear the word again by getting someone to spell it.
Yeah.
So you're not asking, you're not being like, what? I wasn't listening. You're like, how do you spell that?
Yeah, I know. It's a great way to just like act like you weren't.
When you don't have your phonological loop going well.
Yeah. Phonological loop.
That's going to be part of the bingo card too.
Oh my God. Fucking, have you ever listened to like RuPaul's?
Wait, we got to finish your story.
Oh my God. It doesn't matter.
But people are going to be like, why didn't we hear the rest?
Okay. So in Lord of the Rings, Tolkien created this like really deep, expansive like world.
Yeah.
And so in a book called The Silmarillion, he like explains like the thousands of years of history that like led up to Lord of the Rings, like how the earth was created and then like how the races like interact with each other. And then also like fucking like how the Rings of Power, which is like a big part of Lord of the Rings, like comes into fruition.
Yeah.
And so it just goes through some of that. And so at the end of the first season, I hope this isn't spoilers, but they like start making the rings. Because the whole time it was about like something else. I didn't know where it was going. And I'm like, why the fuck is it called the Rings of Power?
Yeah.
It's called Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Oh.
And I'm like, where are the rings?
Yeah.
Where the fuck are the rings? But it's really good because I don't know. I love Lord of the Rings and I was like getting real nerdy about shit. And I was like, oh my God, fucking Celebrimbor is the guy who made the fucking sword that Aragorn has to remake in the second one so he can become the king of Numenor again.
It's like a thing where you're like, now I get it.
Yeah.
And you feel powerful because you understand.
Yeah, I felt so powerful watching this because I'm such a nerd for Lord of the Rings. There were so many things that came up and I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Mithril. It's Mithril. Oh my God.
You know what? I'm gonna watch it all, partly because I do think I will like it. when I don't feel like I'm under pressure to watch it before moving to New Zealand. That was the reason I think I didn't.
Yeah, that's right. We've talked about this.
Yeah, because it felt like I was studying for a test.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rewatch it.
And it's also not even about New Zealand at all.
No.
New Zealand doesn't exist in the movie.
But I felt like I would have to know about it more. And I didn't know. So I was like, okay.
Also, I'm sure fucking New Zealanders are like, stop talking about Lord of the Rings.
It didn't come up a lot.
Yeah. But it is a really beautiful movie, and there's a lot of like scenic, like cool shots.
I'm going to watch it for our friendship.
Okay,
How about that?
Sick.
For your birthday this year, I'm watching Lord of the Rings.
I'll watch Lord of the Rings
so we can have 10 and only 10 conversations about it.
Then you got to watch Rings of Power, dude. Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you watch when you were sick?
Oh, I watched What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
I love that show.
That's a rewatch for you.
Well, no, I actually hadn't seen the
season?
last season and a half or so.
Oh, cool.
So that was good. And then I watched Love on the Spectrum, and I cried. We both cry when we watch that show.
I watched Love on the Spectrum, and I cried.
Well, I cried
at the
a lot
families.
of stuff. It's not just that.
Yeah.
But it's just so cute.
It's great. It's so wholesome, and their families are like, we love these people.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know. I fucking love that.
Everyone just wants everyone to be happy. It's so nice.
Yeah.
And then it's also like, I think one of the times I was crying was because it was like the guy Connor, was his name Connor? He's like, he wants it so badly. He wants to be able to have a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And it's so stressful because he's never had anything like this.
Yeah, he has no experience, and it makes him really nervous.
Makes him really nervous. And then you see him going through that, and it's like, we've all gone through that too. Mm-hmm. And then he really puts himself out there. Like he's on the date being like, okay,
I know.
It takes him a while, but he does it so fast. He's like, I like you.
Yeah, I know.
And then he's like, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Yes.
And I'm like, I can't do that stuff.
I know.
I can't do it. It takes me 6 months to start having a conversation about something that I've been thinking about for forever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's fucking awesome. Did you watch all the way to the end?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I love the ending.
Dude, the end. Okay.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay, so the ending is
I was gonna bring this up.
There's a woman who was on the last season. Her name is Abby. She goes on a date with, what's her boyfriend's name? Is it? It's not James.
Is it Daniel or something?
Or it's John. It's
something like that.
No, it's David.
David. Mm-hmm.
I remember because I was watching it with Dave, and I was like, David.
It's weird. It doesn't seem like that's Dave's
name.
And
so they met on the last season, and now they're on this season, and it's just like showing their relationship and them together. Yeah. And so they go on a safari. They go to Africa because they
both love lions.
They love the Lion King, and they love lions. And so they're like fucking so psyched to see like these animals and shit in real life. And so like at the end of their trip,
she keeps being like, what is that lion looking at? That lion's looking right at me.
Yeah.
And then every time she says it, David goes, that's because it loves you.
Yeah, I know.
And it's so cute.
Nice.
And it's like,
it's because it loves
you love
you.
her.
Yeah, I know.
It's so cute.
Oh, it's so sweet.
And then she'll be like, and that lion looks at you because he loves you.
Yeah. Oh
and
my
then
God.
They're like, I love you.
I know.
It's so nice.
It's so sweet. And then, so at the end of their safari, they're like sitting and like looking over this like beautiful Kenyan landscape. And he gives her first of all, they sit down and he's like, I got you a drink. And she's drinking a glass of wine and he's drinking a glass of milk.
A big glass of definitely whole milk. It
definitely
looks
whole milk.
Creamy.
It looked thick, dude. And then he gives her a gift, which is a necklace from Tiffany, by the way.
Oh,
did you notice it was Tiffany?
I don't remember the necklace because it got overshadowed by
what happened next.
Okay, what was the necklace?
It's the necklace was like a heart necklace that said Lioness Africa 2022.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it was from Tiffany. Yeah. And I knew because the box was Tiffany blue. Oh. And I was like, holy shit, that thing must have cost so much.
Yeah. And he also paid for the whole trip.
Yeah, like, his parents did.
Yeah.
And so at the end they start singing Can You Feel the Love Tonight together, and they do like 2 full verses.
Yeah.
And then the camera's like swooping out, and then she's like, I hate Scar.
Yeah.
And then he's like, me too. And she's like, because he killed Mufasa. And he's like, yeah. And that's the end of the show.
It's so good.
And they have this like beautiful moment where they're like singing together and connecting, and then she's like, I fucking hate Scar.
Yeah. That really does follow you into adulthood. If you watch that show as a kid, you hate Scar so much.
No, totally.
But they said that, and I was like, yeah, I hate Scar.
Yeah. When I was younger, I thought Scar was hot.
Of course you did. Of course. Allie dated a guy who would carry a gun around.
Dude, I have Scar to blame for me dating Leo.
And who's on the run.
Yeah, he's on the run. He's no longer, hey, good for him, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want to get into our stupid stories?
Yeah. Well, I have a story related to The Lion King.
Oh, okay. Let's do
that.
that.
Have I told this on the pod?
I don't remember.
Okay. And then I got to tell you a story about my doctor visit.
Okay.
And then that'll be enough probably. We're already like pretty far in.
Yeah.
But well, watching that reminded me, and I was like, oh shit, I got to write this bit. Because when I was a kid, I watched Lion King every day after school.
Dude, Lion King was also my favorite
movie.
My favorite of the Disney movies. Yeah, I loved it.
It's so good.
It's so good.
The soundtrack is great. I had that soundtrack growing up.
I liked it so much that when the live action version came out, I watched it and I was like, I fucking loved that because it was
live action version.
They made a live action version of The Lion King.
Is that the one with the real looking lion face?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. My friend saw it and she was like, it was just weird.
It was, okay, here's the thing. I watched it and I was like, I fucking loved that because it was like a shot for shot remake of the original. They were just live action.
Was it all the same audio?
No,
okay.
It wasn't. They had like Beyonce.
Because I memorized the audio, so if it's any different, I don't know if I'm
No, they had like a bunch of huge actors.
Oh.
The only same actor was James Earl Jones, who played Mufasa. But they had like Beyonce played older Nala.
Oh.
And then like Childish Gambino played somebody. And then like they had Eric Andre and like Keegan-Michael Key were in it as like Timon and Pumbaa. It was really crazy. But I watched it and I was like, I fucking love that. And then I went online and everybody was like, this is the worst movie ever. The lions can't emote. And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that is what my friend thought was weird too.
It's because, it's like,
you're so used to the animated one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's just like,
smiling
it was
lions.
fine animated.
Yeah.
It was really fine animated.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why it was animated and they didn't have real lions in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, tell your story.
Oh yeah. So I used to watch Lion King every day after school. Like every day, probably for a year or something. And it would get to the part where Mufasa died. Fucking Scar. I hate Scar.
Yeah.
I want to get a tattoo of Scar crossed out.
It's your first and only tattoo. And it's of a cartoon.
That's our merch too.
It's of a cartoon that you had beef with.
And I couldn't handle when Mufasa died, even though I'd seen it so many times.
It's really sad.
It's so sad.
Not as sad as Bambi's mom dying.
That's true. I don't remember that as much though.
Oh, it's literally like it happens off camera. Like there's like hunters chasing them and Bambi's mom is like, run, Bambi, run. And then Bambi keeps running and runs into the bush and then you hear a shotgun.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And then like Bambi falls asleep in the woods all
my
sad.
God.
It's like so sad.
That's so sad.
For no reason.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, kids used to be able to handle more. Now we're all,
Now
snowflakes.
they're all getting read to by drag queens.
Yeah. So I'm watching Lion King every day. I couldn't handle the part where Mufasa died. So when that scene would start, I would go into the pantry in our kitchen. It was like a little back hidden pantry. It was pretty sad back there because that was when we lived on Fort Lewis, like a military base.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was real small.
Yeah.
There was too much stuff shoved back there. There are 3 kids, so there's tons of food, like always around because everyone's stressed about food all the time when you're a kid.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, there's like a lot around that. Your parents get home and they're like, we gotta make dinner! And like meals are like kind of not fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would go every time that scene would come on, I'd go in the back pantry and I would just like shove marshmallows in my mouth for like 5 minutes, however long it goes. I'm just like binging on marshmallows.
To not
think about Mufasa dying.
Mufasa.
Yeah. Like I couldn't handle it. And I couldn't just stand back there knowing what was going on.
That's like the most.
So I had to like flood it out.
That's like the most
with dopamine.
That's the most cut and dry, like emotional eating, like superhero like origin story I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was so clear. Obviously I'd been doing that before, but when I look back, I'm like, that's a clear example of
Yeah.
how I couldn't deal with my emotions.
Yeah.
At a young age.
Yeah. And so
and so then I would eat marshmallows for 5 minutes and then it would be over and I'd walk back in like everything was fine. And I'd finish the movie.
With sticky fingers.
I did it like every time I watched that movie. And then I had an eating disorder. Can you believe that? The connection?
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought? Yeah. But I'm doing that with everything. I'm like ignoring thoughts with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but I had that eating disorder for a while. Probably emotional based. Probably like a lot of what was going on I couldn't figure out. And I was just like.
You wanted to feel like you had control. I feel like that's a big thing.
And I think it's just having something to do that you feel like.
Oh, to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm eating half a can of peanut butter now.
Yeah.
I got a task to complete.
Yeah. Instead of like dealing with other emotional shit in whatever way.
It is.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of like a high because it's like dopamine because you're eating something fun or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I realized like I had an eating disorder. It got better. I'd like to think I worked on myself and it got better. But actually, I think it got better because I started drinking. I just had a different thing.
You just had a different outlet. You're like, oh, no, I can eat whatever I want, but I could also get blackout drunk most nights.
Yeah. I just had a different focus for how to deal with the anxiety and stuff.
Yeah. But I
also did work on it.
I'm going out on a limb here. I do think drinking is healthier than having an eating disorder.
Me too. It's way more fun.
I think it is. It's way more fun, and I think it's better for you.
I built networks from it.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do that eating 6 bowls of cereal at midnight.
Dude, fucking...
and then hating yourself.
Yeah. Binge eating will not help my comedy career at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you know what? Boozing every night will, okay? I didn't make any friends from having 4 celery sticks during the day, okay?
Yeah, I can't go to a party and be like, I only ate an apple and a few crackers.
I know.
So...
How do you think about that? You want to book me?
Yeah. Can I do Butterboy now?
I know. Oh, God.
That's my Lion King story.
Mm-hmm. You said there was the doctor appointment?
Oh, yeah. This is quick. I feel like I'm taking up all the
That's okay.
time.
I'm enjoying it.
So
I'm enjoying your company, Brittany.
Oh, yeah. I miss you.
I missed you too. I know it's been so long.
Yeah.
Since Monday. and it's Saturday.
Even Monday, like, I thought I was fine.
No,
I've been feeling bad for so long.
I could tell you felt like really tired.
I wasn't doing well Monday, even though I was like, no, I must be better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I've been like not feeling well for so long. So I was like, I better talk to my doctor because you're not supposed to have your lymph nodes active for this long.
Yeah.
That means something's weird is happening.
It's like fighting something off. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so I went to the doctor. She was like, well, she doesn't think it's mono. She doesn't think it's strep. Like they're pretty sure. But she's like, let me do the lab test anyway, just to make sure. So I went in the other day to get the labs done. And I don't think I've had a strep test ever, or if I did, it was when I was real young.
What do they do?
It sucks. They just
swab
the back of your throat, but they get way back there in your esophagus.
I had to get that when I thought I had mouth chlamydia.
Oh, right. Yeah. So she didn't even tell me what she was going to do. I was pretty sure that's what she would do. Mm-hmm. But I was also like, I don't want to anticipate it because that just makes things worse. So she's like, all right, open your mouth. She starts swabbing. They get rough back there.
I know,
because they're really trying to get a good
like
sample.
The cells,
you know,
and shit. Yeah.
And she's swabbing, and then I gag, right? Mm-hmm. And it's awful. And then she's like, okay, that thing you just did, do that again. That's what I want you to do. And
gag?
And then I said out loud, I was like, I'm not doing that. And I meant like you did that to me.
Yeah.
I gag because this is an awful experience.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not doing this like for you.
Yeah. But then me saying I'm not doing that, I meant like you did that to me.
Oh, but it sounded like I'm not doing that. It
sounded like I was being difficult.
Yeah.
With the swab. And I couldn't explain because she had it I couldn't talk anymore because she was already back there again.
Yeah.
So then I just felt like a bad person.
Did you say anything after?
Well, then it got worse because
Oh no, how did it get worse?
she was doing the swab again and I couldn't take it anymore. Like, because it feels like you're in danger even though you know you're not.
Yeah.
Because your body's just like, what?
Yeah,
it's like
it feels like you're
reacting.
choking or something, yeah.
Yeah. And so she's back there and I'm like gagging and stuff. And I start to grab at the swab. Like I started grabbing like I was pulling it out of her hand.
It's like a reaction, yeah.
I couldn't help it. And then I felt so bad. And then afterwards I was putting my coat on and I was like, I'm really sorry I overreacted.
I felt like I was in danger.
Yeah. But it probably happens all the time.
My lizard brain was telling me I was in danger.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, you got a stupid story?
Yeah. Okay, so were you ever on MySpace?
Mm-hmm.
I was on
Not
MySpace.
like a ton.
I was on MySpace heavy.
Yeah.
I was on
Ally
MySpace.
Terror.
Yep, I was on Ally Terror.
That was her screen name.
That was my screen name.
FBI emailed her.
Yeah, no, they didn't, but I'm sure I'm on a watch list.
Yeah.
But like I was like a super emo kid on MySpace, and like in my town there were like no other emo kids.
Yeah.
And like
That's pretty cool.
what do you mean?
I don't know. You're the emo kid.
No, it's not cool when you're the only one.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I guess you seem weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like, and
That's
like
when New York people go and visit like a small town in the Midwest and they look ridiculous just because they like have some fashion.
Yeah, they have like a septum piercing and everybody's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That was me. And so like there was like no other, like all of my friends were like kids who didn't know they were gay yet. That was like there's a really strong bond between goth kids, like goth girls and gay boys.
Yeah.
Like in middle school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, it's always that. And like, so I had this one friend that I had met at Camp RamsBottom. Her name was
RamsBottom?
That's the name of the camp I went to. Yeah, Camp RamsBottom.
Was that all kids talked about?
No.
Nobody joked about it?
It never even occurred to me.
Weird.
Until I was older.
Yeah.
I think when I was like older at the camp, they were like Camp Sheep's Ass. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was in Camp RamsBottom. I met this girl, Daphne, and she was like a friend of mine. And she was emo. And that was great for me. I needed that.
Me and my first emo friend.
Yeah. And we went to like Warped Tour together and shit like that.
I went to Warped Tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What year?
I don't know. In high school sometime.
Oh, I went in like 2009.
Oh, okay. I was probably like 2005 or 4.
Yeah, and I think like Katy Perry was on it.
Oh, that's weird.
But it was like before she was a pop star.
Ah.
And she like, I think her song I Kissed a Girl had just come out and like nobody knew any other song.
Yeah.
It was like that early into her career. But I had this one other girl, Daphne, and she like had a network of emo friends that she knew from
Daphne's such an emo name.
I know.
Too.
I fucking know, dude. I've not connected with her. And so like, I don't even have her on Instagram. I think I only had her on MySpace. And so I like, don't know.
Yeah.
We just didn't ever connect ever again. But anyway, so I had a MySpace and I was trying really hard for people to know that I was emo on MySpace. It was like really important to me that people knew that I was emo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she was friends with these boys who I had never met, but like were emo boys. And I was like, ooh, I want to date them so bad.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, I've had never had a boyfriend before that. And like they were so emo in like the MySpace way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they were like so hot to me.
Yeah.
And then I remember like taking like hours to write my bio on MySpace before I friended them in order to like.
And then you're like, that's no good. And you're like, I need a break.
Yeah. And I was like,
you're like pacing around.
I'm like, I'm Ally Terror. I'm emo. I don't think I said my age, but I was like, My Chemical Romance forever. Roar XD. Like shit like that.
This took me hours to write.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm really emo and I care.
I was like really trying to like create a like aura of that I didn't give a shit, but then I spent 4 hours on it. You know what I mean? And so then the emo boys were like messaging me, and oh boy was I excited. Oh boy was I excited.
Wait, so you friended them, then they just started messaging?
Yeah, and then we started talking and whatever. And then they stopped talking to me one day, and I'm like, what the hell fucking happened? And then I was talking to my friend Daphne, and I was like, dude, I was like his name was Trent, also an emo name. I was messaging Trent and he never messaged me back. He just like ghosted me or whatever. And she's like, well, he saw in your bio that you said that you're emo and he doesn't like labels.
Oh my God.
And it was devastating.
He doesn't like verbal labels, but likes visual labels, like his haircut.
Like he's like, I'm not emo. I'm just like, whatever.
I just happen to be like this.
Yeah.
I just happen to really fit this category that's current right now.
Yeah, no, totally. And then I was so devastated.
Yeah.
I cried for so long because I had ruined my chance with the emo boys.
You spent so long on that profile.
Yeah, I know. And it was just awful. Oh. And so it's my first heartbreak.
Man.
These emo boys who I'd never met and didn't even meet after, who were like friends of friends of friends with my friend Daphne, who I have not talked to since. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just like, and it was just like probably the biggest thing that was happening in my life at the time.
Do you remember his profile?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm sure it said emo in a number of ways. Right?
Well, yeah, I guess like, I think there was this whole thing. There's this culture of being like calling yourself emo is uncool, but just like being emo is cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, cause I guess it like seems like, I don't know, young people, I think like with young people, apathy makes you feel cool.
Yeah.
And like, so me being like, I'm emo was like so lame to him.
I've decided, I have an announcement.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
emo.
Yeah.
Now it's like, everyone's like, got to announce something now.
But also here's the thing. Nobody calls themselves by the way that they dress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like a big thing
to
be like,
kind of I'm a punk kid.
Yeah. Like I'm preppy.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
I never said I'm a horse girl.
Yeah, I know.
People said that about me.
Yeah, I know.
So I was all chill and laid back about it.
Yeah, people would say
I was
about
like apathetic about the horse stuff.
That's why you're so cool.
Work.
But people would call you a horse girl and then you'd be like, I'm a horse.
No, I'm a horse. You guys don't get me.
Yeah.
I had a boyfriend who was into like death metal and stuff.
I remember him,
right? This guy, drumming on his chest all the time.
Yeah. The way you did
Dwayne
it
was a
like
drummer too.
Hitting yourself
right?
in the face.
I did hit myself a little. Well, I hit my hair.
Yeah, and you were like, this is what you were doing while you were drumming. You were like somebody else was hitting you.
I was blinking like a dog getting wind shot into its face. Yeah. You know when you puff air in a dog's face? I don't know why people do that. What are we puffing air in their face
I've
for?
never seen anybody do that.
I feel like I've done it or seen it. And if I did it, I feel bad about it.
Sometimes if my dog is annoying me, I'll blow in her face. And
maybe
she'll be
like blew in. Yeah, maybe I've blown in.
So she'll leave me
face.
alone. Yeah.
And they squint like they just don't know what's happening.
Yeah, they're like, oh fuck. Yeah.
What's all this focused wind?
I know.
He was a death metal dude, and he hated just like he loved the people he knew in the scene, but he was so mad about the idea of people dressing and being like in a group that's like death metal guys. Like, you know, you wear like a black shirt and your jeans look like you've been wearing them for a month without washing them.
Wait, he hated the idea of people calling themselves that, or?
Yeah, I don't think he liked the label of being in a like this group as well. And I think he thought it was stupid that they would dress, that everyone kind of dressed the same.
So how did he dress?
He like purposefully dressed as neutral as possible.
Gotcha.
Just white or gray or some shirt, really basic.
Yeah.
And jeans.
Yeah.
But he made a point of that. Like, like letting everyone know that he wasn't that, even though he was a metal dude, which is worse.
Yeah.
Because he made it such a big deal.
Yeah.
And then normcore became a thing where that is how you dress. You just dress like a normal guy, but you're like
no, totally. Yeah. It would be like, you'd wear like a polo shirt and then cargo shorts.
Yeah.
And be like normcore.
Yeah. You look like you could just work at an Office Depot.
Yeah, you're just dressing like somebody's father on vacation.
Yeah. And then he got mad that was now a thing.
He's like, I was normcore.
He was like, I was doing it for like, I don't know, like a principal or something. Mm-hmm. Every time I say principal, I say it the wrong way.
Principal.
Anyway, I'm so sorry it didn't work out with Trent.
You're doing it again. You're doing it again.
I know.
Before when you were like, oh, tell me about Lord of the Rings.
Trent sounds like a nice guy.
Shut the fuck up, Brittany. Stop fucking patronizing me.
What did he look like?
He had like bleach blonde, like swoopy emo hair, and he was like really, really skinny white guy.
Yeah.
And he had like black streaks in his like bleach blonde hair, and then he would wear like hoodies and skinny jeans and then like DC shoes. Yeah. Like the classic emo boy thing. I'm
so mad. I mean, he was young. But it's still frustrating where he's doing it all and then there was rejecting someone because of a label.
There was also a second one who was also messaging me and stopped at the same time. And I forget his name, but he had black hair.
Were they friends?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was so strange. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just going to have to date somebody in fucking New Bedford or whatever.
Yeah. I'm acting like I've never done something like that, like him, where I've been like, there's one little thing and I'm like, nah.
I know.
I'm sure I've done that.
He was the emo Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
That's what he was. He was emo Jerry Seinfeld. He's like, yeah, I don't like that she calls herself emo.
Yeah.
She's not the one for me.
Yeah. I know I've done that before too. I like to think I don't, but I'm having trouble thinking of an example. But I definitely do that.
Yeah. You should get into your story.
Yes. You mean the post?
No, your stupid story.
I was just gonna assume it was Lion King. I have other ones, but
okay, all right, cool. Yeah, let's get into the posty then.
Okay. Oh, Katrina says hello.
Hi, Katrina. She DM'd me on Instagram, was like, miss you, and I was like, fuck, I haven't been to fucking PLG in so long.
We should all get dinner.
I know we should, and I said I gotta come down to your neighborhood.
Oh, we should get dinner because we're supposed to get dinner with April and Ashlyn. Anyway. And we should invite Katrina. I think I already invited Katrina actually.
Wait. April and Ashlyn in the same group?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, were we all hanging out at some point?
Wait, we were gonna get. This is for anyone. This doesn't matter for any of you. But
yeah, we were gonna get dinner with
April,
and we were also.
But then we were also gonna get dinner with Ashlyn.
Let's just combine them.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm sure they know each other,
and I'm pretty sure I told Ashlyn already. Like, oh yeah, we're getting dinner with April. Let's all do it. It's a girls.
Yeah,
big girls.
We'll
thing.
have a girls' night, and then Katrina can come.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, plans.
Here's our post from an internet user.
Somebody who did something stupid.
Oh, it's not loading very well.
Do you want to look at my phone?
Maybe, yeah.
I think I might be able to pull it up.
Damn.
Oh, I have her right here.
Oh, okay. Keep adjusting my mic. Oop. Feel a burp coming on.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Oh, did you pick that up?
Got it.
I heard it from over here.
It felt really deep.
Yeah.
It was, because I kind of trapped it down here. I'll pay for that later. You can't repress anything.
Yeah, now you're gonna fart later.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for being mad over a book? I, 21 female, had this coworker named Lee, 19 female. She's had a rough time in her life, and I empathize with her, so I made many efforts to show kindness and be her friend. I'm a good gal. She doesn't say that.
Oh.
Obviously, that's me.
Yeah.
That's how I talk.
I'm a good girl.
You know, I've been saying big time a lot more lately.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I feel like I mostly say it with you, but I've started to say it a lot to Dwayne, and I'm like, is this okay?
Dude, sometimes he'll text me and be like, your shoe's untied. Big time. And I'm like, ooh, Brittany's having fun all the way over there.
I know how it feels to be in such a dark place, so I put in a lot of effort into a potential friendship so she wasn't alone. In hindsight, it was one-sided on my part and should have been my first warning. I was there for her and asked for nothing in return simply because I knew she needed someone like me in her life. A part of me was starting to enjoy the friendship we were forging. Forging.
Like for mushrooms?
Yeah. We even got tattoos together. Not matching ones.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy if you got matching tattoos.
I got a book about all of history's most famous killers. It was $20 from Half Price Books and from the banned books section.
Ooh.
They're still banning books?
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that like...
Oh, like it was banned in the past.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is a like section in Barnes & Noble that's like, ooh, banned books. And then it's like, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. She talks about getting her period.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's like past banned books.
Yeah. I think that...
They don't do that now.
I think that like there's some like school districts that ban books, but I don't think it's like banned like federally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was thrilled to have it. I decided I would read it at work the next day. Lee saw me reading it, and of course she asked to borrow it. This is where I hesitated.
Uh-oh.
When I was a kid, people bullied me. What they liked to do most was pretend to be interested in a book that I was reading, ask to borrow it, and then never give it back.
Okay, wait.
Such a weird trigger.
It's such a weird thing. First of all, a weird way to bully somebody.
Yeah.
And then also on top of that, it's like, are you sure you weren't just lending your books to people who didn't give shit back?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm being bullied.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They pretended to be interested. Everyone's pretending. No one cares about me.
Yeah.
I get it. I feel like
she's
that.
like, it's malicious.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe they forgot to give it back.
For this to happen over and over as a way of bullying someone would mean that people all talked about how to bully you best.
I know. Yeah.
And they're like, she hates it when you borrow a book and
don't
pretend
give it back.
you want to know about what's in it.
I am so curious how many times this happened. Like, did it happen twice? And then she's like, they're out to get me.
It's just weird for her to interpret it as bullying.
I know, yeah.
They would gaslight me into thinking it was wrong to ask for it back.
Oh my God. I love that. Oh my God. I love that.
It's funny too, because it's like gaslight wasn't a term that was around when we were kids.
Yeah.
So she's thinking back on this childhood experience of being bullied.
Yeah.
And now she has new words for it.
Yeah, I know.
Like it probably wasn't gaslighting at all.
They were love bombing me by asking me about the book.
Yeah.
And then gaslit me when I wanted it back. They're so toxic.
They're so toxic, and then they breadcrumb me.
They must be narcissists.
When they would say they'd read a few more pages.
So I tried to gray rock them. Dude, every time anybody dates somebody who they don't like,
Gray
they're
wall.
like, Gray wall.
I was like, this isn't right.
Wait, I think it's rock.
I think it's probably like a few different versions.
I think it's like slate
Gray rock makes sense.
I think it's gray. Or maybe, is it gray wall?
I think it's like rock and roll.
Wait.
It's kind of like, I don't know. I thought I would have something to say, but I didn't.
And then I rock and rolled him. I would love for my therapist to be like, sounds like you were getting rock and rolled.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I mean gray rock.
I could be wrong. I could be so wrong, dude.
When I got older, I realized it's not wrong. But at that point, I never let anyone borrow a book from me again. I told Lee this, and she made multiple promises up and down, swearing on the gods, begging she would return it. Why doesn't she
go to a library?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And get it for free?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she wants it that bad, maybe she's part of the bullying. She heard from those people who bullied her, and she was like,
she spent all this time acting like she needed a friend.
Yeah.
In order to be able to ask for a book that she pretends to want to know about.
Dude, it's the fucking long con.
This is good. I actually really respect Lee now.
This is 4D chess.
I was still really hesitant, and my boyfriend even said, I doubt she would hand it over. I'm sorry. Even the boyfriend's like in on this. Like,
I know.
Never let anyone borrow your books.
Yeah.
Despite my better judgment, I handed over the book before I even read it. I told her it was a sign of trust, and this was a big thing for me. This is ridiculous.
This is so insane. Also, like, why can't you be like, oh, can I read it before you borrow it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she brought it to read, and then she was like, I guess I'll give it over.
Yeah. Over the past year, her life got worse, but it's been because of her own actions. I've kept trying to help her, but she started to take advantage of my kindness and abuse the chances me and others gave.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, everyone has had enough of it at this point, and we're just polite to her to avoid problems. I've been done wasting my mental energy and money on someone who doesn't want to help themselves. We were still on talking terms, but I ended up quitting the job recently. It's been a year since she's borrowed the book, and I've been reminding her every day for 2 months. That's bad. If someone's doing that, dude, I'm gonna put off giving it back.
Dude,
I'm
I
like,
know
you're treating me badly now.
Yeah. I would be like,
you're
why
trying
are
to control me
on my fucking ass?
Mm-hmm.
God.
I sent her a long, irritated text that I would like my book back, only for her to tell me when she was moving half a year ago, her cat's pissed on it and ruined it. I didn't get to
Dude, the new dog ate my homework is my cat pissed on it.
Yeah. She's been trying to find a new one ever since, but she couldn't. She lied to me all this time and made excuses. Needless to say, I was not very happy, but I just sighed. I told her, so it's worse than negligence. It was pure stupidity. Thanks for proving you were in fact irresponsible. Don't worry about it and never contact me again. I'm actually done with you.
Oh my God.
Whoa. This is where I think I might have been the asshole. I basically called her stupid and irresponsible, but to be honest, it's true from everything she's done so far.
Whoa.
Yikes. Wow. Okay. Emailing someone every day. Can I have my book back?
Yeah, that's absurd.
Yeah.
Also, she did mention that her life was getting worse.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I can't speak on whether this is her fault or not, but also it's like, I don't know, I let shit slide when my life is like busy or shitty or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, just buy a new one or go to a library or something.
And the friend probably just felt so bad that the book was ruined. And now it's getting all these emails like, oh, they really want this book.
I know. And
I got to replace it. I can't lose my friend.
Yeah.
And then they're stressed about replacing it.
Yeah.
And then they're getting emails every day.
I know.
And their life's falling apart.
I think it was texts.
And they're doing heroin, so they can't really respond a lot.
Which was their choice.
Well, yeah, why am I thinking email? It's text.
Yeah, you keep saying email. It's text.
An email saying, where's my book?
Every day. Your inbox is just like, where's my book? It's like the subject is where's my book? And then the body is where's my book? Thanks. Can I have my book back, please?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, where's my book? Here's your Uber ride from yesterday. Where's my book? Where's my book? Where's my book? Steven Rogers made an update on Facebook. Yeah. Where's my book? Oh, I got an email from Facebook the other day that said that. It was like, let me pull it up.
It was Steven Rogers.
Yeah, yeah. Steve Rogers,
guest.
former guest. So funny. Such a fun hang. So it said this, right? It says, Facebook was like, here's an email. Steven Rogers shared a link. Right? And you can like go and view it. And then at the end of the email, it says, was this email useful or not useful? And I took a screenshot and circled not useful and sent it to Steve. And he loved it.
That's so funny.
And you know when you do something like this and you think it's so funny?
Yeah.
I was like laughing so hard.
And you're like, God, I
was like, Steve better like this. I was like waiting by my phone. I was like, he better think this is good. Yeah. He better laugh.
Not useful. I would love when people say shit to me to just be like, oh, that's not useful.
Yeah.
Just like say in people's face, not useful.
Not useful. Not useful. Not going to remember that.
Yeah, you're like, sorry, this turned into a shit. And I'm like, not useful. Not useful.
I had a friend before.
Okay, Brittany.
He was like, sometimes I wish I could just be like, I acknowledge that, without having to say anything.
That's God bless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the check mark.
But me and him started saying acknowledged. Like we wouldn't,
like you're in the army?
Person. Yeah, yeah.
Or like in a kitchen.
Yeah. Understood, basically.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
It's so like fucking weird and in person. It's so robotic.
It's robotic. Mm-hmm.
That's what would be in your fucking
This
AI.
guy was robotic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was really cool. He was fun.
Yeah, of course you thought he was fun.
I know.
As a robot.
I think he liked me for a while. He kept asking me to get salads late at night at his apartment.
Was this in New York?
After we were drinking. It was in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. I don't have time to talk about this, but on another episode, I got a lot of stories about me, him, one of my good friends, Rasheen. I'm still really good friends with.
Great name. I love that name.
Yeah. She's Irish.
Yeah, it's an Irish name. For Little Rose.
Oh, I didn't know that. She's awesome. You'd love her. But me, him, her, and this other guy in New Zealand, we all got close. And the way we got close, like we were all kind of friends before, but then we started watching this dude named Marcus. I'll find it and I'll talk about it in a future episode. But it's like this guy, it was like an early one of those guys who's like promoting wellness through all these weird things. And he made tons of like insane videos. He made a movie. He had like this crazy blog. And so we would all meet up and just watch his videos together and make fun of him. And it became like we were in this club.
Best friends. Yeah. Making fun of Marcus.
Yeah. I'll find it and I'll talk about it on a future pod. I can't really remember much of it.
Dude, I need to see
He had like a lot of
Marcus.
videos about enemas though. And it was all focused on how also like all this stuff he did was with his wife. So it was always like them as a couple and how they're so happy.
And giving each other enemas.
And like all the stuff they do. And like, they're like, we have sex 14 times a day. And they're talking about the importance of orgasming a lot.
Oh
like,
my
it was like
God.
tons of like.
Dude, of course the ass guy.
He has like 6 websites. Like he thinks he needs a different website for each little thing he starts. When you could just have a tab.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's incredible. Dude, it's so funny whenever people are really, really into wellness.
Yeah.
And then it's focused around their asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's mental illness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, I'm the most healthy person in the entire world. Nothing can kill me. But I have to fucking put something in my ass every day, 3 times a day. And it makes me even more powerful. And you're like, well, what the hell?
The asshole sunning thing too?
Yes. When people put their assholes in the sun.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll just have a backyard with a fence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shit's crazy.
And the reason that feels good is probably just that you're getting a good stretch.
Yeah, you're in happy baby.
Yeah.
Happy baby.